Right. Hi, I'm Sam Wigfield, and this is my mom, Cindy Wigfield.
Hello.
All right, so today we'll be talking about me.
Okay, great.
Okay, so what is one of your favorite memories of me? With me?
Oh my God.
Nope, we're keeping rolling. Go.
Well, you can cut and paste, right?
No.
What?
Just act like this camera's not there. I'm
It's
just asking.
but it's there. Favorite memories is
So this is what you would say to me if I was actually asking you in everyday life. You would laugh at me.
well, just how fun you were to be around. Always smiley, always friendly, ready to do anything, playful.
Okay. We'll skip that one. So what do you remember about like my personality when I was younger? Was I like shy, outgoing, quiet, loud, happy, sad, talkative, stay to myself?
You're always outgoing. I wouldn't say shy was your thing. Always willing to meet new people. You're always really friendly. So loud. You've always been loud. But, happy.
Okay. Was I more of a cooperative child or more of like a handful?
You were a cooperative child. I don't recall having to punish you very often.
Hi, Bub.
Okay, great.
Floyd made an entrance. This is my cat, Floyd. Um, let's see. Was I an imaginative child?
Not too much, I don't think. I don't recall you doing too many projects or being creative and
See, I'm gonna have to disagree on that one because me and like our neighbors, we would always play like imaginary play. We would play like Indians and like we play like animal games. You know how like we have that painting of those tigers and like cheetahs? We would pretend like that was our family. We would make a whole story.
Okay, but I wasn't a part of that, so I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
What I saw from you was not, you were just more structured, and the only time you really got creative was, like Halloween or on certain occasions, but
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess I didn't really like do.
you didn't like put plays on or, do
See, but we did that at
things.
Bailey's house. That's where we did
and
that.
I didn't see that, so.
Yeah, okay, I agree. Did I prefer to be indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors, always.
Well, what kind of activities would I do?
Well, ride your bike, run and play, go to your friend's house, go to the Purple Park.
Mm-hmm.
You were always outside. You weren't a video game person where you were wanting to be in the house in front of the TV, so you were usually out.
Okay. What kind of toys did I play with? Were they more like dolls or more?
Well, dolls, no. While you had dolls, you very rarely played with them unless your friends were playing with them, and then you play with them. But if you were home alone, you would not go in your room and play with your dolls. It was
That's
not
true.
your thing.
That's true.
So I would say you were more of, sports. You wanted to run. You wanted to be active. More of that than just sit around and play a game.
I agree. What do you think were some of my places to like hang out or play? That can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be just the house. It can be.
Well, you were always over at Bailey's, which was the next door neighbor girl that you went to school with, and you guys would go to the park or, the cul-de-sac. Kids would always play out in the cul-de-sac, which has seen many kids come and go, so that's always been a popular play area.
That's true.
And the trampoline in the backyard, which was another gathering spot.
Yeah, for everybody, not even just me and Robert.
Right. I would have to limit how many could get on.
Is there anything you think that could have impacted my personality as a child? Like big moments or situations?
Well, there wasn't really any big moments. The only thing, unfortunately, that, like I said, came to mind was the relationship between me and your dad, and ultimately getting divorced. But you were younger when that happened, but it still impacted you for having to live in two different places. But we did keep the family together, and we managed to do every holiday together regardless. So, but I'm sure it impacted you in ways that.
Actually, I've done a lot of this reflecting before because we've had to talk about this in different classes. But I don't think it impacted me that much in ways that it has other people. Especially because you talk about how we still did a lot of things as a family. And so I never really saw it as like a bad, maybe more so when I was younger, but I never really saw it as like a bad thing to happen because it was still basically the same.
Well, we were always still a family. I mean, your dad always still remained together. I mean, we traveled together for a ball and, kind of blew everybody's mind. We still went to church together as a family. So, even though we were two separate homes, we were still family.
Yeah.
But whether or not it impacted you in a way that you look at relationships or,
I guess I don't really think about that as often, but I'm sure it definitely has in like relationship.
But there wasn't really any major.
My cat Missy.
I can't say any other major events. Everything else has been pretty normal.
Okay, I need this, sweet girl. Thank you. Did Robert and I get along, my brother?
No.
What was our brother-sister dynamic?
Well, your brother had this talent, which he still has to this day, to push people's buttons, and you are a very sensitive girl that you don't react well to that, and it's on, and it was constant all the time. I mean, as you guys got older, you've come together, but not to say that it still doesn't go on, because it does. He's still a button pusher, and you're still sensitive to it. So, but you guys do things together and have fun. I mean, you guys have changed. I mean, you went to school together for a while, I think 2 years. You were in the same school. But...
Well, we were in St. Peter's for a while together, because it was from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Right. So you did go to school together for a while.
Yeah. What kind of things did we like to do, even though we argued a lot?
Well, obviously we've had discussions. I only remember you guys playing video games every now and then and jumping on the trampoline. Outside of that, you really didn't do too much together.
I guess you're right. I did go over to like the neighbor's house. Like I would make him make me.
Make him take you along?
Yes. So I could go.
Yes, every parent does that, I think, time to time, and say, take your sister with you.
Yes. I did do that sometimes. So, do you think my birth order affected my personality? The fact that I'm the youngest of two?
Well, I don't know. I think so. I think we all talk about it. I was a middle child, and I can tell you I think that affected me. So you being the baby, probably a little more coddled or, wouldn't say spoiled. I mean, I tried to treat you both the same. But girls are different than boys, but I don't know if it was so much the order of things. You always have to follow the path of your older sibling, and that can affect things.
Mm-hmm.
You saw some things that maybe made you more smart not to do certain things.
Yeah, see, that's something.
So you learned from your brother's mistakes.
Definitely did.
So I would say that was, as far as your birth order, it didn't make us love you anymore.
Not that way. I'm saying for me, personality-wise, like I definitely was more cautious because of him. I learned, well, some people probably had older brothers and sisters that like were amazing and did everything perfectly, and they wanted to follow in that. But I learned from Robert's mistakes, and I saw what I did and didn't want to do with my life according to him after that. So I applied a lot of that from what he did and how you guys reacted to what he did.
Right. Which made me more cautious, when you got to the age to leave the house on your own or drive. You know, I was a little in a different mindset by then, so
Mhm.
it affected how I dealt with you when you weren't in the house.
I agree. What were some of your favorite activities to do with me when I was younger?
Well, being a working mom, unfortunately, you know, there was a lot of, you work during the day, you cook, you clean, and kind of, we didn't really do a whole lot of activities. It was kind
That's
of
true.
more quiet time, I guess, later on. But I think for you and me, it's always been being silly or wrestling each other or, you know, things like that. I wouldn't say we actually went out, we didn't go out and go shopping. I mean, we were
Yeah.
never that. And
No, we didn't.
we would just kind of just be with each other. And
Yeah, I agree. We didn't have anything like I can remember that we specifically went and did because that's what
No.
we usually did.
I was usually going with you to whatever activity you were in.
Yeah.
So I was usually watching you.
Yeah.
But we still did it together.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you know, like, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
What kind of differences in my personality have you noticed since I was younger?
Well, when you were younger, you were, well, and you still are sensitive. I don't think you've kind of taken that into a different realm. You're more outspoken. You believe in who you are. You don't worry about conforming to what other people want you to be. You're more your person, which, you know, I'm really proud of. You know, you're self-motivator, which is, you always really kind of have been. I mean, I wouldn't say that's really changed. It didn't take much for you to get up and go do something. I wouldn't have to push you to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
But just, I think it's just your beliefs and knowing who Samantha Wickfield is. I think you're still finding that out, but you're on a great path to.
I feel like you hit on more similarities. That was my next question. So, is there any like major differences that you see, or is it just you think I'm basically the same person? Like you don't see much of a change?
Maybe it's kind of always who you've been. It's just more enhanced, maybe, if that's a better way to say it. You've just kind of grown into it more. You used to be more concerned about what other people were saying about you and, you know, catty girlfriends and things of that nature was really the only thing you struggled with. But you didn't like it if people didn't accept you for who you were. And now you've come to the realization it really doesn't matter, and you just, you are who you are, and you make no apologies for it, and that's a good thing, in my book.
What kind of what kind of parenting style do you think you had?
I was, I'd say I was a protective mom, which, you know, if I look back in the marriage, and the reason why the marriage ended was to protect you and Robert. I wasn't nervous. I'm one of those moms that the worst possible thing could happen. So if you were too close to a hill or you were out of my sight, I was, you know, thinking the worst. But I think I also let you be who you are. I've never tried to make you be anybody you weren't.
I agree.
You know, just as long as you abided by the rules of life, you know, and had manners.
Yeah, I agree, because some people like see in their parents like they wanted them to do more like girlier things. If I, you know, since I'm your daughter, more like girlier things, and like didn't want them to be as boyish. Like they didn't want them to go get dirty and stuff like that. You definitely didn't do that at all. Like it wasn't like that. I definitely could do whatever I wanted to. You never were like, oh, that's a boy's toy. Or
No, but if you chose to do something, you had to give it 100%.
Yeah.
I wouldn't support it if you were just doing things kind of. If you do it, you gotta do it. So.
Do you think you or Dad impacted my personality? And if you do, in what ways?
Well, for me, I think you have my confidence, but definitely my laugh, which
Yes.
you had to take ribbing for growing up, but get an award for it at senior year. So, those things, you're a lot like me. I've had to be a more independent person, and you are that.
I am that.
The love of music, probably, while I love music, you probably get that more from your dad. He was definitely a musical lover, and you love music. We raised you in the Lutheran faith, so I think your religious beliefs started here at home, and where you went to school and church, and personality. You're stubborn. You probably get that from both of us.
Yeah, I would definitely say both.
So, yes, I think our personalities have impacted who you are, and looking at you today, maybe not a bad thing. So.
All right. So kind of backtracking, was I more like, did I take on like more of like a role? Was I like more athletic, like a bookworm? Was I like musical, like instruments and stuff like that?
Definitely the athlete of the family.
Yeah.
I always thought Robert was the academic of the family, which you had to hear a lot about. And
I did.
You always would think I was saying you were dumb.
Yes, I did.
But it came easy for him academically. It did not for you, so you had to work twice as hard. And athletic-wise, it came easy for you, and it was twice as hard for him. So,
And I think that definitely impacted me for sure, because I definitely wanted to prove that I was not just the athlete. And while in high school, I didn't really prove that. I was more of an academic person in that I was smarter, but in college, like, I think that was one of, like, part of a driving factor. I was like, I want to prove myself. A lot of the things that, like, I do is, like, I want to prove that I can be whatever I set out to be.
Yeah, I've looked back and thought about the times when we said that. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to say around you, because I wasn't meaning it that way, but it obviously probably had some sort of...
It did.
Push.
It did. So was I more like of a rule follower, or did I do like whatever I wanted?
You were a rule follower. I don't read... There was never any time... There was a couple rules you broke along the way, but who doesn't?
Right.
But no, for the most part, you didn't have any problem following the rules. You weren't a rebel. You weren't trying out to prove that, hey, stick it to the establishment, or you listened to the people, your elders, and pretty much did what was required of you.
I never felt a need to. Whereas Robert, I feel like he felt a need to like get that attention. I felt I was okay.
He needed the attention he got was negative, so.
Either way, attention is attention, and he got it.
But you like positive attention, so that usually comes with doing good things. So, yeah.
Did I like to try new things?
Always. We would always, when we go out to dinner, me and your dad would always try and get you and Robert to try something different. Robert would not. You would try it, whether or not you liked it, but you were always willing to try it. We'd even try and get your brother. Look at your sister, see? You had no fear. I mean, you wanted to be on the biggest roller coaster at the youngest age, which was, Robert didn't want anything to do with it, and you wanted just to fly high. So no, you had that adventurous spirit. Nothing scared me and scared you while it scared me. Watching you flip on the trampoline or gymnastics or whatever thing you were doing. As I stated earlier, I was the paranoid mom. Worst thing could happen, and you were just out there doing your thing. So.
Yep.
Yeah, you had no fear.
Well, if I got hurt, I guess. So I feel like we already covered that. Did I make like friends easily? Did I have a lot of friends, or did I struggle with that, or did I want to stay by myself?
Well, you made friends, but you struggled with it. Your personalities, like I said, you remember all the years that you and your friends, who are still friends to this day, but personalities don't always see eye to eye, and
That's true.
I always kind of pushed you to make amends and apologize, even though you didn't think you were the one who should be doing it. But, you're a needy personality, and I think if you don't feel someone is meeting your needs, you are not happy, and it creates a problem.
It does, because I hold it in, and then I have an issue, but then people don't know that I have this issue, and it just builds up for me, and then I get upset out of nowhere about something smaller, but to me it was a whole bunch of things that I just like let get to me, because I don't know, because I always feel like I always try to treat people the way I want to be treated, and then when I don't feel like I got treated in the same manner, or if I didn't get treated how I wanted to be, then it upsets me.
Angry. It's not upset. You get angry. Yeah, it's an anger thing with you. You get angry.
And I think I would get that one from my father.
Mm-hmm.
He had a short fuse.
He did. But I always try to tell you in all our conversations that, instead of keeping it in, to tell people how you felt, because that's all you can do is just tell people how you feel. How they react is up to them. And try to always give you that advice, to speak your truth. And
I've been working on it. I actually did that the other day. I had gotten upset with Jenna because Jenna had done something, and like just the way she said it, and I was just like, I don't know why she would say it like that, and like it was embarrassing for me because it was in front of people. And so after workouts, like I brought it up to her, and she was like, "Oh, like I didn't mean it in that way. Like, we're just always partners." And she was like, "Well, I'm really glad you like talked to me about it," because I was like, I didn't want to go into practice and have these feelings, or like eventually like keep building this up, and then I'd be upset at you for no reason, and you wouldn't understand why. And so, growth. We saw some growth.
See, so apparently how I raised you had some sort of effect on your life. Thank you, Floyd, for blocking the camera. Perfect. Perfect.
All right, well, that concludes that.
All right, well, thanks for having me.
I had a great chat.
It's been a pleasure being here.
In our own home.
Yes.
All right.